The flames of 1666 consumed 13,000 homes. Within that devastation lay a specific legal erasure, the incineration of the Court of Husting archives. These records were the bedrock of the city's property rights. The Court of Husting held the deeds, charters, and land records that served as the final word on ownership for London's populace. Before the fire, title was inseparable from the earth. Citizens held absolute, allodial ownership, a status proven by physical landmarks, parish records, and family lineage. The fire acted as a total reset. It neutralized the physical boundary stones on the ground and simultaneously vaporized the paper evidence in the archives, leaving a jurisdictional vacuum. This created a crisis of proof. Without the landmarks or the archives, a survivor's claim to the land they stood on had no legal standing. The Crown viewed the ruins as a blank slate. With legacy property claims cleared out of fire, the administration prepared to move the city's assets into a new jurisdiction. Parliament responded by passing the Sestu Quae V Act of 1666. The act utilized the displacement of the population to establish a new legal fiction. Anyone unaccounted for following the fire was presumed to be lost at sea. This invoked a condition of civil death. By legally categorizing survivors as missing at sea, the state could bypass land-based common law and move private holdings into state-managed maritime trusts. Through this legislative pivot, property that once sat firmly on the soil was now governed by the jurisdiction of the sea. The Crown consolidated this control through a four-stage protocol. It began with the liquidation already provided by the fire, which had cleared the physical markers of possession. Next came a forced audit. The state demanded paper proof of lineage and title from survivors, documentation that had just been destroyed in the archive fires. When survivors failed this audit, their ancestral rights defaulted to the Crown. The state assumed the role of salvage master, claiming the land as if it were distressed cargo from a shipwreck. Finally, the Crown abstracted the land. Physical plots were re-registered as entries in a centralized paper ledger. This converted individuals from owners to beneficiaries. Citizens were granted equitable usage, but the underlying legal title remained with the state as trustee. The inhabitants of London physically survived, but their absolute property rights were extinguished. They had been transformed into tenants on their own ancestral land. The Reconstruction turned this legal reality into a physical one. The paper ledger dictated street architecture. London emerged as a corporate prototype. The City of London, a state within a state, operating with sovereign-like immunity, a model later exported globally. The uniform, regulated grid of the Mews streets was designed to mirror the taxable rows and columns of a ledger. This registry of bottomry allowed the Crown to manage the entire city as a financial asset. By applying maritime law to the city, the administration treated private property as salvaged inventory, ensuring the state remained the ultimate authority over all holdings. To finalize the capture, the state employed the doctrine of mortmain, or dead hands. This prevented property from ever returning to absolute private ownership, locking individuals into a permanent state of subordination to the registry. By treating territory as data in a registry, the 1666 Reconstruction established the template for the modern administrative state. It demonstrated that control over a ledger is more enduring than physical possession of the earth.